Well, this is not cool. I basically needed a 90% charge today, and the car stopped charging as soon as I plugged it in last night and didn't send me a notification that it had stopped charging. So now this is me fixing my charging disaster. The original plan was we were gonna go to a race day, Festival Italia at Brands Hatch. Very good fun. Jasper's gonna love it. And then Soph was gonna take a ride back with some friends who were also going, and I was gonna go on into London and see Dennis, who's starting his 52 weeks later YouTube channel to do with writing a book in a year. And I was gonna sort of go through some production tips, you know, how to set up a home studio kind of thing, which was going to also be a learning experience for me. However, I don't know if we're still going to do that now. Soph needs to work and she's got an important presentation tomorrow, and she was hoping to work in the car on the way back, and then she wanted me to look after Jasper. All of that's fine, but it just kind of throws a big question mark into the day's plans. In terms of the car, I think the reason it didn't charge last night was because there are lots of farmers in the area and they all have been harvesting grain, and I think what they're doing is running a bunch of grain dryers, and that's pulling the voltage down in the local area, making the car think that potentially there's a problem with the circuit, so it stops charging. And calamity of coincidences, what also happened was that the center console froze, meaning that it didn't have any signal, it didn't send a notification to my phone that charging had failed. Hence, I woke up this morning going, ah, and had to come to a supercharger. Timing on that worked out quite well in the end, didn't it? Yeah.
I'm sorry, I screwed up time of day, basically.
Yeah, you screwed up mine too.
I screwed up everything. Right.
Hello, Jazzy.
Dad, I want to go back in Simon's car.
I don't know about that.
James.
Hello. You're looking cool. I already prefer this race circuit to Snetterton. It's got a little area for kids as well. That's got to be the ultimate boy's toy. Now, if only it had a big battery. I say that for every car, don't I? But it's true. I was driving here in my Tesla, and it's such a joy to drive, because I had to drive a little quick to make up the supercharging time. You know, not illegally quick, but quicker than normal. And it's just such a smooth, fun, responsive experience. Now, I've completely lost Soph and Jasper and Simon and Albie and everyone, really. I was taking a call with Dennis and sort of rearranging our studio setup session. Oh, good vibes. I think that probably marks the end of today's racing. Now we're going to take Jazzy to the bouncy castle. Coffee! Gotta put your seatbelts on, monkey. Was that good fun, Jazzy? Hello. So we had a spot of engine trouble. Hello, how's it going?
You said hello to Charlie?
Yeah, this is awesome. No touching though, monkey. This has been loads of fun. You may well be wondering why I didn't really do an awful lot of vlogging, or why I generally don't do a lot of vlogging in environments like this. One word for you: audio. It's really, really difficult to get usable audio when you're in a really noisy environment, which that certainly was. In fact, all race circuits seem to be very noisy environments. In fact, a lot of places in public are very noisy environments. So yeah, I couldn't really talk about production other than to say, when it comes to audio, what you want is quiet, a decent mic, and to have the mic quite close to you, which is why people use lapel mics, of course, because they're about as close as you can get. If I'd used a lapel mic out there, it would have been better, but it still would have picked up an awful lot of the background noise. Time to cool off, I think. The other thing you need when producing a video is good lighting. Now, good lighting today is kind of easy because we got loads of sunlight and there's not much cloud, and I mean, obviously this is just going to be the best lighting ever, natural light. So you find a lot of people who are making YouTube videos will sit in front of windows, for example. But obviously, nighttime, there's not as much sunlight. So that's when you need lights. And also lights are helpful anyway when you're inside, because it enables you to control the lighting environment. I've got to keep half an eye on what those two are doing. Excellent. So yeah. Lighting, sound, and they both can be extremely tricky, but they make a huge difference to the quality of your production. Isn't that right, Jasper? Lighting and sound. Lighting and sound. Now, of course, when you're shooting video and the sun is out like it is now, what you don't want is for the sun to be directly behind you, because that's going to turn you into a kind of silhouette. And another thing worth noting, you have to watch out for shadows, especially when you've got a camera and you're holding it up, if you're vlogging, something like that. That catches me out all the time. Lots of tricky things with lighting, especially when you've got the sun in your eyes and you're squinting like crazy. Sunglasses help with that. And also, if you're going to shoot in manual mode, which does give you a bit more creative control, and especially if you're vlogging and shooting in manual mode, you have to be a little bit wary of when clouds sort of waft across. You know, suddenly you're overexposed, suddenly you're underexposed. You know, I think I've caught the sun a bit today. Apparently Jasper wants to go in a diesel car for some reason.
Well, you know, we have been around these big engines, noisy engines all day.
Yeah, I suppose. Bye. Cross our fingers that the old car charges, because right down to my last 81 miles. There to get me to the shops and back. The third production tip, not so much technical and more personal. Making sure you know what you want to talk about. You've actually thought about it and planned it out a little bit. Now, when you're vlogging, that can be quite tricky. I'm an absolute classic for not properly thinking about what I'd like to say. Good example, yesterday, talking about voice recognition, would it be nice to actually include a bit of this sort of technical history of how voice recognition has been attempted in the past and how it is now being done and works quite well. Just didn't think about that until the editing, which is the other thing. When it comes to the editing, you'll find often my videos can be a little bit cutty, and that's basically where I'm trying to say through the editing what I meant to say and failed in a concise manner during the actual day. These are things that you could fix very easily if you were in a studio, if you just thought about it, maybe reviewed what you shot, and then corrected the things you needed to correct. What is going on with the voltage round here? That is really, it's going to trip out again. Of course, one problem with a vlog can be that it's virtually impossible to actually know what's going to happen in the day. Now that I'm inside, I can see how much I've caught the sun. Wow, it's like having a beetroot do a vlog post. Well, talking of planning, we have to get Jasper to sleep now because he woke up early, he's very tired, that kind of thing. So I hope you've enjoyed today's vlog post. If you have, remember to like it, share it, subscribe if you haven't already, follow me on Instagram if you don't already, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next instalment of my daily vlog. Bye! He's swimming! You see how much more fun it is when he can actually float?
I can't!
You just prefer him to sink, don't you? What's wrong with you?
I definitely can't.